Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. I'm Professor Olayinka Akanle. I'm a lecturer in the university. On this channel, I do a number of stuff, but all these stuffs I do, you can easily cluster them into four. But sociology and research are very central to them. I also do content on international migration and relationship. The video today is within the confine of sociology, that is, politics as a social institution in sociology or political institution. You may see some textbooks or some sociologists describe politics, describe political institution as government, as institution. So nothing to worry about. They just talk about what they mean at some instance and what they do in some other instances. So I have a video on social institutions on this channel. Kindly go ahead and view the video. Very important. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly go ahead and click subscribe on your screen right now to subscribe to this channel for wonderful content. So it is very important that you know that political institution is very central to human organization in society, very central to how human behaves, because this institution is very important, and that is why we study it in sociology, so that we can understand the impact on human behavior, impact on society, impact on social change, impact on social civilization, impact on social relation in society. So don't forget, in my last video, there's a video on religion as a social institution in sociology. In that video, I also mentioned the fact that we study these as social institutions because they've been enduring, existing in society for a long time, and to the extent that they have profound implications for how societies are organized, how societies function. So, and like religion, we have like 8 social institutions, five traditional social institutions, and we have 3 new ones we are adding. That is religion, politics or political, education, economy, family. Those are the 5 traditional social institutions. And now we're adding health institution, we're adding peer group, and we're adding social media. Because we believe that these institutions have values and norms embedded in them, and they play strategic roles in terms of socializing, organizing, individuals and society. I'll come to functions. In this video, you will learn what political institutions, are, or what political institution is, if you look at it as a singular entity. I'll tell you the features of this institution. I will tell you the function of this institution. I will tell you perspectives, theoretical perspectives to explain this institution. And I will give you some facts about how you should look at social institutions. So when you talk about political institution, you're really talking about power. You're talking about authority. You're talking about law. The laws that govern society. You're talking about power, how power is used. You talk about authority, how authority is used in society. And you look at how political institutions regulate human behavior through socialization. I have a video on socialization in this. And we also talk about political institution as an institution responsible for allocation of values, allocation of resources. That this institution plays this important role. And in playing these important roles, it impacts human behavior. It shapes how people behave. And that's why Aristotle described, human beings as soon political. That is, these are social animals who love to organize themselves in society. They don't behave randomly like animals. And through this organization, they initiate, they innovate, and use political institutions to ensure control in society. So that's why, from the perspectives of Aristotle, everyone is a political animal, in the sense that everyone is a politician, directly or indirectly. Whether you look at it at macro level or you look at it at micro level, everybody plays one role or the other within the confine of political institution in society. Everybody wants to discuss politics, wants to discuss governance, wants to discuss election, wants to discuss social organization. You're already behaving like a politician. You are also performing a strategic role as a political entity in the political institution. Don't forget about it. Don't say, I'm not a politician. Don't say, well, it doesn't concern me. Once you are affected by that policy of government, once you are affected, once you vote and you are voted for, or once you discuss politics, once you complain or you commend the political system, then you are also involved and you have to play your role. So political institution is universal from the perspective of sociology. We believe that every society has one form or the other of political institution, depending on whether it's simple or complex society. So we believe that political institution is a cultural universal. Wonderful. You agree with me with this? So whether it's democracy, whether it's totalitarianism, there is a form. Whether it's just simple kinship system, there's a political system. Whether it's hereditary, whether it's through election, there's a political system. We believe once there is social organization, whether it's, you look at it from the ancient, you look at it from the hunters and gatherers society to the sophisticated societies like America, US, or any other modern society or postmodern society, we believe that there's an element of political institutions in every society, and it shapes governance. Political institution shapes decision-making processes, and in sociology, we believe that political institution is very important to the extent that we have areas of specialization in sociology that we describe as political sociology, where we understand political culture of people, the direct impact at an advanced level. Political sociology, that is so strategic. And when you look at political institution, we talk about complex system, process of power, authority, and collective action. Complex system or process of power and authority and collective action. How power, how authority, are galvanized to determine collective action through socialization processes by making people behave in certain ways. And you cannot say this is not true. For example, once a government declare curfew, they are obligated because they have structures to enforce those things that they have done. So it determines how resources and values are allocated and distribution of rights and resources, responsibility. Right? People can, when you say fundamental right, some people's rights can still be denied. Some can be redefined depending on the government in power. A democratic government, may give you your right to a large extent. A totalitarian government may withdraw those rights, may not even see you as right, they may see you as a subject rather than a follower, rather than a citizen. So it affects social organization, interactions, human behaviors, relationship. And if you have an institution that has this direct impact on people, their behavior, and direct and indirect impact, you have to understand that social institution very well. And that's why we in sociology, we are looking at this social institution. Now, let me tell you the components or features of this political institution. You have government. There must be government in place, whether popular or unpopular. There must be government, there must be rulers, there must be followers. There must be selections, depending whether the form of government that they are running in that society. There must be election. If it's democracy, there must be election. If it's totalitarianism or authoritarian government, there may have to just be selection or appointment. If it's monarchy, where you have kings and queens, then there may be inheritance. Maybe people inherit that. There will be election. There will be aspirations. There must be representation. Then you talk about political parties. If it's a democratic system, because the system of government will determine the process of through people what they might. When you talk about political institution, you must talk about power. You must talk about authority. You must talk about influence in those as elements of those places. You talk about control. Because a major element of political institution is control, social control, systemic control across the system. There must be bureaucracy through which government runs. There must be hierarchy. Then there must be ministries, departments, and agencies, which some people will describe as civil service or public service. There must be ministries of government. There must be department of governments. There must be agencies of government to run government of the country or the society per time. Then you have functions. What are the functions of this political institution? Talk about governance. The fundamental role is to govern. You have leadership. You have followership. You have politicking. Politicking is very central. People play politics, who will emerge, who will not emerge, how are we going to allocate resources. We talk about lobbying, we talk about the parliament, then you talk about conflict management. This is a very key role. Talk about control, social control, talk about socialization. This is very important. Socialization, people are socialized, resource allocation, policy making, policy implementation, law making, and talk about social change, identity. Politics give people their identity. Once you are the president, you have an identity. Once you are a local government chairman, you have an identity. When you are a king, you have an identity. It gives people status also. It's an agent of stratification. I have a video on this channel on social stratification. I have another video on social mobility. It stratifies because political institutions put people in class, in strata. The leaders, the followers. In some countries, they say they are number one citizen, the president, number two citizen. They say first lady. They talks about, the number three man, number two man in the country. Give people the president is definitely higher with more influence, opportunities, and power and authority than just a local government chairman or just a citizen. Identity, status, and you talk about transparency. There needs to be transparency, accountability, inclusive governance, shaping human behavior, affecting culture, talking about social integration and social stability. If you look at the Parsons Agile, talk about latency or pattern maintenance as the role of the political institution. Agile. I hope you know that AGIL, Parsonian Agile. Talk about different social institutions playing different roles. But the L there, latency or pattern maintenance, is the role of the political institution. That means they have to maintain the stability and the integrity of the country. That is, to maintain the cohesiveness and social order in that society. And we have three major theoretical perspectives. It can be conflict perspective. We look at the Marxian, where you talk about political institution as the oppressive element of the ruling class. The oppression of the proletariat or the lower class. That is the functionalist perspective, which believes that society must perform, must maintain itself for progress and for maintenance for social order. And political institution performs this role according to functionalist perspective. And that's why Parsons innovated or gave us the scale, the framework of Agile, that the hell there is the role that must be performed in society for society to be stable and not disorganized. And say the political institution, government, must perform this through politics. Then you have the internationalist perspective that believes in human agency as individual in the group. That every people at their interaction, at community level, at individual level, at interpersonal level, have agency to be able to act and behave in certain ways that maintains the political structure, that maintains the stability of the country, that maintains the stability of the society in terms of human agency. While the conflict and functionalist perspectives are macro, the interactionists are micro. I have a video on this channel on micro and macro sociology. The way you look at it for the bottom up, you can look at it from macro, functionalist, and conflict perspective. Then those are macro. And when you look at it from the angle of interactionist perspective, that is micro. So these three perspectives help us. These are frameworks, perspectives, theories I have been in this perspectives. I have a video on this channel on paradigms. I have a video on perspectives. I have a video on theory building. View those videos, we understand what I mean by these perspectives the more. And this is very important. And now, a very important thing I want to mention is that there's no need for anybody to be involved in political thuggery or political conflict, because this political institution is only to maintain society. There's no need, for dangerous politicking. There's a need for inclusive government, because these political institutions are just to maintain social order in society. And that is why it's very important for this video, for you to know the purpose of this political institution. So there doesn't need for anybody to fight during election, fight for government, fight for anybody, or die for anybody. Political thuggery, election rigging, or fighting, destroying because of politics is very bad. Because for sociologists, we believe there must be management of resources, allocation of resources, and some people have to be there. So there's a need for order, harmony, for us to know that there's no need to kill anybody, there's no need for violence, there's no need for social disorder, on the account of political institution of politics. It's fundamentally for society to function in an harmonious way and for societies to be organized rather than disorganized. That's why we have these institutions. And there are values, there are norms, cultures embedded in them to the extent that they form structures. Wow, I enjoyed myself. Thank you very much for viewing this video. Click subscribe. Till I see you in my next video, more videos are coming on the other social institutions. Stay tuned and tell others. Bye for now.